round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around, I get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around.
Well, folks, welcome to my Round Town with Ron website. You know, I've talked to you about it, told you about it, told you everything I have, but you know, unless you really see it or have been there, you don't appreciate what a huge site I have. I've got the largest site of any website in Big Bear Valley, maybe even Southern California sometimes. Anyway, this is a brainchild of a longtime friend of mine, John Bryan, who has been in the business many, many years, the internet business, and he's developed this website and is my webmaster. Hi, John.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
Oh, great. First of all, when did you first start on the internet?
Well, I discovered the internet in the summer of '94.
Uh-huh.
Put up my first website in January of '95. And over the years, I probably put up about 15 or so of my own websites, and I probably created another 30 or 40, and I've done search engine optimization for an additional 50, I would say, over the years. So when I came back to Big Bear about, the middle of '09, I was ready to retire, and somehow that didn't happen.
You met me.
That's it. Well, I've known you for 30 years, but we ran into each other at the supermarket, and you made the mistake of asking me what I've been doing since I had left Big Bear for a few years, and I made the mistake of asking you if you had a website. And here we are, roundtownwithron.com.
And you launched it?
I think we'll have a full year under our belt in March of 2011.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
But we spent a good 7 or 8 months just converting the videos, the starter videos, which I think were about 500 when we went live in March of last year. And as you can see, this number up here is over 1,200 videos now that have to do with, well, just so many things. I'll go down that list in a little while, but I think the first thing that's really seems to be at the top of so many people's frame of references these days is Facebook and Twitter. What we did is we discovered a website that offers an additional 150 social networking environments, and so if you click on this, it'll take you to that web page, and you can get involved in a lot of...
Can you click on it? Or?
Oh, yes, certainly.
Yeah. I always thought they were just Facebook and Twitter, but there's 150 plus.
Yeah, here's the list.
Look at that.
Now,
social network sites.
Yeah, it's just like the search engine myth itself. So many people think there's only one. Of course, that's Google, or 2 or 3, Yahoo and Bing, what used to be MSN. But now we actually have search engines who were in existence long before any of those 3 were around, and they're still around. And as a matter of fact, there are about 300 search engines and directories that all seem to survive for a long period of time and still are around. So it's not all about 1 or 2 or 3 search engines.
Wow. Now scroll on down. So this is like an e-zine. An e-zine is an internet magazine.
That is correct, and we have created around 40 some different categories. As you can see, the red video lines for many of them, and the reason for that is that we actually have about 175 keyword, 3-word phrases that we put into the search engines, and we bring people from all over the world. As you know, our mission all the way from the beginning, middle of July of '09, was to help raise the economic demographics of Big Bear. And we decided to do that by creating an e-zine with just a wide variety of interests. Now, for instance, these are two links here that bring you to videos about the weather. This is fall, one of your favorites.
Oh yeah, it is my favorite.
Yeah, and as soon as we get back to where we're supposed to be, here's another one about the winter in Big Bear. And this is a shot that I happened to be with you that day.
At this
I think we were up on 2N10, which is certainly one of the most circuit. Well,
You get that every time you go on one time.
well, if they come back to the index or homepage,
Sure.
they're going to get that. But in
Yeah.
order to give you this demonstration, I just really have to do that occasionally.
Sure.
I want to take you to what I consider to be a very important aspect of visitors or new visitors to Big Bear. And the people who are listening to this might be interested to know that approximately 50% of the visitors to this website come from around the country, national we call them, and the other 50% come to us from around the world. What many people don't know is that we have this gorgeous airport out here on the east end of the valley, and we have even accommodations not only for small planes but some small to medium-sized jet planes. And we have a lot of information on here, things that you've done over the years, videos that you've done of what goes on at the airport. And we have, in the 13 western states, I would say we probably have a couple of 100,000, if not 500,000 small planes in small airports all over the 13 western states. And I really think our airport, I know we have 3 major highways on and off the top of the mountain, but I really think our airport is our 4th major highway. And I like to talk about it. I like people to realize that it's here and that we have many things to offer at that airport to accommodate visitors. And then over here we have a directory that's on every page, so it really doesn't matter what page you're on. You can go to the directory and you can find out either some text or some advertisers or some history. It's just a tremendous undertaking. Of course, if we have 1,200 visitors, you can get a pretty good idea. There's an awful lot going on in Big Bear Valley all of the time. And these over on the right, of course, are advertisers, and we have some really interesting advertisers. Here's probably one of the largest bed and breakfast facilities on the mountain. Apples. We've been in there very many times. You can just get to the front door and you can smell the food coming through the front door. The owners of Apples are very fine host and hostess, and our hostess can really cook. And we stand there in her kitchen just waiting for her to give us something that she's cooked that day. And of course, we have here one of our favorite little restaurants. We have some very big, fine, expensive restaurants. And then we have one like this Azteca Grill, which I really think if you just sit and look at the food coming through on this website, you get an idea that the people at Azteca are not exactly amateurs. And there's our hostess, Rosa, and it's a great advertiser. We're happy to have her on board.
Wow.
Now, just pick a subject, Ron. We don't have any problems here. We have a lot of stuff. Very proud of the history factors in Big Bear. And if I can see, here it is right here. This is a part of Big Bear that's very well known. It's one of part of the old Wild Wild West. Gold mining in this community 100 years ago. And as a matter of fact, we still have some gold mines, and I frankly think some people are still out there looking for gold. And we have a very fine video series right here, 4 different videos done by a local artist, videographer, and just a ton of information and things that go on in Big Bear throughout the year. The old miners' cowboy gathering.
It's sort of a
Well,
modern
here we are at the Big Bear Valley
historical archive.
Museum.
Well, it really is. We're the contemporary aspect of what went on in Big Bear. Now, you know, this is all due to the fact that you've spent 30 years in Big Bear. Well, you've been here for, I'm not going to tell people how old you are, but you've been here a long time. I think there were still grizzlies here in the valley, as a matter of fact, when you came to Big Bear with your family. But you have been a person in the community who has always been a friend to the small business community in Big Bear, and it's just an unbelievable number of things that you've done for the civic community. This website is really designed to show people if they're interested in vacations, that's one thing. If they're interested in activities, that's something else. If they want to know what goes on in our government, you've filmed that. And for instance, here's a page that really gives an idea of the variety. I can't even remember how many are on here. I think about 150, 175. If you look at this list of performances that have been at our Performing Arts Center. And our Performing Arts Center has a revolving stage, not too many of them, even on all of Southern California. And we have one. And because we have one, we've had a lot of very professional groups come to California, to Big Bear over the years. And of course, when they get here, you're there to film them. So these are just some of the things that go on this website. And over here on the right, for instance, you can see where we've posted directions on how to get to Big Bear. And because of a recent road problem that we've had, we've even had to give directions of a kind of a workaround. And we do that. And then of course, if you come over here and you see this 5x5 leverage linking, this is a program that I designed years ago in my early years. You see 1996 on there, and it's a self-generated leverage linking system, and it's primarily for professionals who understand the logic of backlinking. And of course, we're in the advertising business, so right down here we say embrace the current recession with the return of the 1930s penny advertising. And so we're a very inexpensive advertising company. And here's a piece about what our advertising is all about, what our visitor counts are looking at currently, and I just highly recommend.
Yeah, we're one of the few websites that have a third-party organization that gathers very accurate statistics on how many visitors visit us, how many ad views, and boy, it's just climbing month by month.
Yes, it is, and we're probably one of the very few, for all the years I've been in the business, who actually gives our advertising clients statistics on a monthly basis. Now, I'd like to also point out this one feature right here. This is a feature that's relatively new from Google. It's 124 language translations, and it's been on this website since we created it. We got onto it probably in late '09, so we had it on ever since we started in early part of 2010. And it's really an interesting concept, especially when you're going after an international market.
Sure. Can you click on it?
Certainly. One of the important parts of our whole marketing package is Big Bear Lake itself.
Wow, look at all that.
Has a wide variety of people from around the world who have actually bought second homes in Big Bear or come to visit in Big Bear. And what we discovered quite a while ago was that we have people here who now email this website to their relatives somewhere else in the world, whether it's Russia or China or other parts of the country, and then say, come to this website and you can see how life is for us in Big Bear Lake. And I think that's had a lot to do with such a wide variety of people that we get. We get them from Africa and in Europe, of course, And over the years, France, for instance, has been slow to come to the internet as far as I'm personally concerned. And now we're getting several dozen visitors a month from France. So I'm glad to see that they're finally discovering the United States again. So I think that we play an important role toward the helping to improve the economic demographics of Big Bear, and that's what this is all about. We're using your archives, which I understand to be somewhere around 3,000 videos. I hope I live long enough to convert them. But in any case, we're over 1,200 at this moment, and that 1,200, I think, gives a pretty wide concept. You can see here, for instance, the Amgen bike race we had here last year. There's a full page full of different things that have to do with that bike race. Here's things at Big Bear Arts Council. We have a beautiful art community here of fine artists as well as video artists. We have an advertiser, this fellow right here, Tim Walcott, world famous and putting a very large package together, not only in Texas, but even has his eye on Las Vegas these days. And there's just so many things that go on in this community. I'll run out of voice before I
That's okay.
give you a...
You know, one thing too I'd like to let the people know is that the segments that I show daily, if they're a brand new segment, on my way home I drop them by your place and you upload them in a day or two. So what they see there, they can go on this site and see it as many times as they want. They just have to remember which area it's in, whether it's performing arts or you put it in a directory that actually coincides with what it is.
Yes, right. If I start dancing through the performing arts section alone, we could spend about a week, you and I, going through.
The segment takes us to the Performing Arts Center once again, and today it's a real treat. The first time the PAC has entertained an 80-piece symphony orchestra. We're really proud to have and to present the Redlands Symphony Orchestra. Wow.
I love the colors in this one.
Yes.
And the quality of the video is excellent.
And I'd like to say, there are my full segments. When you click on that, they're 15 to 18 to 20 minutes long.
Correct. And of course, here's a local. We're also proud that she chose to have a home in Big Bear. And,
oh yeah, Shirley Jones concert.
Yeah. One of the, I'll have to get off of that for a minute. One of the important things I found about Big Bear is all of the, well, some people refer to this mountain getaway as a Hollywood getaway. We have a wide variety of stars or people who are no longer famous in the entertaining field, at least not when they were younger, who have chosen to buy second homes here, who live here. We have some who come here on a regular basis. We have Noel Blanc, who we're so very proud to have as a part of our community. And I think Noel's father probably was here just about as long as your father was, Ron, but I really don't know.
No, my dad was here first.
Okay.
1924.
Okay. All right. Well, then I don't know how old Mel Blanc was when he came here, but I do know that I know that when you're out on the lake, for instance, and you're on one of those lake cruises, and the cruise boat captain will take you by Noel's house, they give it a couple of blasts, and if he's home, he'll just come out on the porch and wave and say hello. And he's so very much involved in so many things that go on in this community. And he's like a lot of people. We just have a lot of super people. John Grandy, who does so many shows at the Performing Arts Center. But we're also very well known, not only for our summer sports, which I'm going to take you to that page, but we're also very well known for our winter sports and our skiing. We have the premier ski resorts, 2 of them, in Southern California, which says that's pretty good because, in a sense, you're about 2.5 hours from the ocean. You can actually ski here one day and be in the beach the next, or some people tell us they go for a swim in the morning and they come up here and ski in the afternoon and into the evening. So tell me.
Well, John, our time is up. Man, I hope you folks realize what a great site this is. And those of you who have computers, come on.
I get around.
Yeah.
Get around, round, round. I get around. I get around. Get around, round, round. I get around. Get around, round, round. I get around. Get around, round, round. I get around.
Well, that's it, folks. Remember, roundtownwithron.com or just roundtownron.com, right?
Right.
Okay, John. Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you.
You put in, I know, 8 to 10 hours a day on this site, and I hope people will visit it and really enjoy the tolls of your work. Thanks so much. Now, that's it from here. I'll be back in a minute.